Yeah, good afternoon. Tonight or this evening, we are going to speak with Kateryna Koval, who is not only Ukrainian, she is also an expert in politics, military and information sector. And I'm very glad that I have the opportunity to speak to her tonight or this evening, because she is all around the media in the last months, at least what I saw. May you introduce yourself and give us some insights into your life that changed a lot in the last months.
Yes, hello Dietmar, nice to see you, nice to meet you this evening, of course. Greetings from Kiev, Ukraine. So nice to meet you today. I'm a politician, I'm a reserve officer, infantry, I'm a defense and security expert. And of course, this time, of course, the war has changed the lives of each Ukrainian, I can say. And since 24th of February, of course, I was in Ukraine and I stayed in my city, in Kiev, in Ukraine. So now you can ask some questions.
How is the security situation now in Ukraine? When some people say in some areas it's not that dangerous anymore, but some people say on the other hand it can change every minute, especially with the rockets attack. How do civilians feel about the situation at the moment when you speak to your friends and family?
Thank you for the question. Of course, we should understand, even for example, if we have rather calm situation in some cities, we should understand that we should be prepared for each scenario, because now we have the time of war. It's not a special operation, of course. It's a real full-scale war in Ukraine, and Russia Federation is an aggressor. And of course, we've seen from the first days of the full-scale aggression invasion that Russian Federation started bombings of our cities. Of course, this war is not fair, and it was not fair because we've seen no fair land operation, for example, and we've seen really bombings in the capital of Ukraine, and we've seen bombings during, for example, the process of negotiations. And of course, this war is not fair. Of course, civilians have many emotions today, because some of them, many people, not some of them, of course, they lost their relatives, they lost their close people, they lost their homes, and it's really very pity and very great pain for Ukraine. And of course, now if we can see some photos in social media with happy faces of Ukrainians, of course, I can say that it is the kind of working with ourselves to stay alive, to live, to remember that we will not have the second life. So it's some type of psychological recovery, I can say. But of course, each Ukrainian, when we have happy photos, we have the great pain in our hearts, because we understand that the situation could be changed every day in every city. And of course, we have strong army, and our army does the best. We have strong commanders, and of course, we have defense security systems. But we should understand that it is war. So each day could be the last one. But we should really understand that we have the only one life, and we should live in these conditions and try to live in every sector. For example, if we have the opportunity to work, if we have relations and family, to take time to have time for relations and family, and to live this day because it could be the last. So we should get off the aggressor from Ukraine to do all the best in all the fronts, in military, like volunteers, like people who are making international work, who are making informational work, to do the best and to live our life and try to be happy, of course.
When we go back to the first days of the full-scale invasion, many people said that the Russian forces, that they expected that it's going to be a fast victory within a few days. And then they were very shocked that the Ukrainian military was very prepared. And also very motivated, yeah, like they didn't expect that there would be so much resistance. How can you explain that? Is the Russian intelligence service, are they so badly informed, or are they, I like to speak about disinformation, do they actually eat and swallow their own disinformation? Because for me, it's not understandable, because I was not that surprised that there is, of course, a huge resistance.
Do you mean why they had so many mistakes in those days? This question.
Yeah, first days, but in general, I think that many people say that Vladimir Putin thought that Ukrainians would actually welcome the Russian army, especially in southern or eastern parts, which not happened.
Yes.
And we saw this already in 2014, when there was much more resistance against the invasion, the local invasion back then. How is that possible? Is it like the intelligence services, do they believe their own disinformation, or do they just have no clue about Ukrainians?
I think that this case concerns that Putin, Russian president, he holds himself as a king, and he really believes that most of people should wait for him, for His Majesty to take our land. It's really crazy for me, because I understand that Russian Federation, of course, has intelligence service, and of course they have special military academies. They have special academies to prepare personnel for intelligence, of course, and we understand that Russian intelligence goes from intelligence from the USSR, and of course they have such personnel, of course, but so we can see in the 21st century that this world can have such person as Vladimir Putin, who really think that he is a king. And of course, we should understand that people from his team, if we can say this word, they should have told him about the situation in Ukraine, that Ukrainians were really different, and we are more modern. We are really European state, and if we go to the history, of course, we can say that our history is really more older, more ancient, as we can say it. That's Russian history, and Russia Federation has stolen really the title of the state. If we remember the Kiev Rus, so it was the name of our state. So this situation is really shocking, we should understand that Russia holds itself as an invader, as an empire, and of course, um, when we had the state, the USSR, the USSR, that Russia had prepared many work, informational work inside of other countries, inside of other republics of the USSR, and it was in Ukraine too. To a pity. But the most part of Ukraine, of course, they are real patriots. Of course, the whole country are patriots, but as we've seen, some representatives could have cooperation with Russian Federation, and of course, such people, they have crimes to cooperate with aggressor. But of course, if we see the history, if we go to history of the world, of course, the history had such personalities, collaborators in each country during all wars. So betrayers and so on.
But for me, it
Of
seems
course,
that this
it depends
number of
on what
collaborators is very much decreasing. Yeah. So if we compare it, for instance, to 2013 or 2014 and to now, for me, as I observed this, also the eastern parts, it seems that there was a lot of changing there. That Ukrainians are now more united than ever before. Yeah, since the 2014 aggression. So. It was a kind of nation building moment, right? So there are less collaborators than ever before.
I can say that now we have more and more people who believe that we will win for sure, who believes in our future, the future of our state of Ukraine. And more people who would like to go to troops and to become militaries, to become volunteers. So we have the real full-scale recovery of our state and of our patriotism. And of course, if we go to history concerning the collaboration, of course, it's a very controversial, not very easy question for Ukraine and for our history. And of course, this question goes really to the USSR, when representatives from intelligence services were working in some services in other republics of the USSR, and were making the informational work with population and informational work with representatives of some special services in other republics. So, of course, now we have this historical moment, the result of this, but many people get acquainted too, and we were talking about all the topics very sincerely, and they told me they believed in some of Russian propaganda, so they believed in some thesis of Russian propaganda, of Russian intelligence, but then they started making their own analysis, and they've seen that they were so weak to believe in this. So really, I very appreciate the sincereness of such people, and I'm very grateful for making analysis by these people. So we have more and more people who believed in some things were popularized and were worked on in the USSR, and to change their mind today. So it's really, really great. So more and more people who believe that USSR were great changed their mind. So we have such tendencies in Ukraine now.
If you take a look at what is happening internationally, I mean, I observed this since, of course, since 2014, but especially since February 24th, then I can see, unfortunately, that the Russian disinformation, after I think 1.5 or 2 months of the full-scale invasion, it became more and more easier. We became more and more less resilient against the disinformation as Western societies, especially Central Europe, Germany, Austria, and Italy, for instance. And I find this very disturbing. For me, it seems like when Ukrainians start to manage the war, I mean, it's, you know, I understand, to repel the Russians for a certain degree, to win territories back. The support on the information war, if we want to talk it like that, for instance, the social media discourse was decreasing for some reason, and more people were asking, yeah, we should stop everything and meet in the middle, which was a kind of false balance, false equivalence. And what do you think is the reason that, I mean, if we speak about Russian disinformation about Ukraine, in my opinion, it's the most reason, or the exact, I think we lack knowledge about Ukraine. Most of us haven't been there from the Westerners. Yeah? So it's very easy for the Russian disinformation to misinform us. Yeah? And I saw since 2014 that Ukrainians made great progress in developing resilience, media literacy against the disinformation from the Russian Federation. But you were not able to export this knowledge. Yeah, so I mean, and we were not able to adapt. Yeah, so since 2014, when I compare it to now, we are also absolutely not prepared. So what, in your opinion, what can we do to be more resilient against Russian disinformation and false narratives?
I think that you should look at the information from the official websites, from the official sources, from the public pages of officials, of politicians, of military representatives, of course. And if, for example, if we see some fakes from Russian Federation, of course, we should you should search for the information with Ukrainian official resources, of course. And we, of course, can observe some informational videos from intelligence, for example, by BBC channel, some from some very widespread and very well-known TV channels and resources, of course. But the main thing to understand is everything should be on official level, of course. And for example, if you are a representative from the media, you should connect to official representatives of Ukraine with an official appeal, and for example, waiting for the reply, of course. So if it is not official, so it depends, of course. So you should, of course, go to the official web resources and talk to our officials, of course.
What do Ukrainians use to inform themselves about the war? I mean, in general, yeah. I mean, I guess they want also to know everything very quick. What I saw that there are a lot of people now on Twitter that haven't been there before, yeah, but not trolls, but people who are actually looking for information. Is Telegram a big thing?
Yes, really. We have, I can say that Telegram channels can be as an real media in Ukraine for now, because many official structures, they have their official Telegram channels. For example, you can go to the web page of the ministry, to the Facebook page of the ministry, or to the Telegram channel of the ministry. So I can say that I'm an active user of Telegram and Telegram channels, and it is quick because, of course, you see the piece of news as a message on your phone, and it's very convenient to have some messages and to screen them on your phone, and to see topical pieces of news. So it's one of the new instruments in our social medias, I can say.
There are two events that are very crucial in this time in the confrontation. Recently, the daughter of Alexander Dugin got killed by not car accident, by car bombing, and the Russian Federation is, of course, accusing Ukrainians. And the second important event this week is the Ukrainian Independence Day. And I heard it was reported at the media that there are not going to be any celebrations because it could be dangerous. Yeah? What can you tell me about these two latest news?
I can say, of course, that we should remember that we have war in our country, and it is full-scale war. And of course, we should not have now any celebrations because the question of defense and security, because uh, we don't understand for 100% the plans of the president of Russian Federation, Putin, because we can even analyze to make analysis of this person, of actions of this person, as to really uh, to have some logic, because it is no logic, it's just invasion, and it's just actions like an empire. And of course, we should, as we can, guarantee the security of our citizens, of course, and that's why we can't make any celebrations, of course, in our cities, even in the capital, because we should understand that Russia Federation can make as many provocations as they would like to have, because it is a really historical moment, and they have very many informational messages about our Independence Day. Independence from who? Don't you understand that the Ukraine is the country situated on Russian land, and so on and so on, crazy things. And of course, there's no opportunity to have celebration. We would celebrate, and we will celebrate our Independence Day when we win this war. And I really believe in our victory. So we should have this celebration uh, after our victory.
Thank you for this, I think, very touching final words. We are already running out of time a little bit. Can you tell me what are you going to plan in the next days? How is your daily life at the moment? I guess you're very busy and you're running from one thing to the next. How do you keep your energy level up?
How I keep my energy level up. So of course, I believe in our victory, and I'm doing my best on the international sector, of course, and my everyday, of course. I believe that I'm trying to be in my best physical and psychological condition, and of course to make as more as possible on the international sector, connecting with representatives of the NATO members, connecting with, for example, military veterans from the United States of America, and preparing some programs and projects. And I can say that maybe in the next interviews we should talk more about these programs. It's a little secret for now.
Yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to discuss your programs, to go further into your work, and also to discuss to you the upcoming news. But meanwhile, I wish you all the best for your upcoming Independence Day.
Thank you very much.
And good evening from Vienna. Goodbye.
Yes, good evening. Bye.